So we're talking about energy this month, really important parame energy. And we have so many associations to so many of the words. Energy is one of them. Energy for us in the West is often, start the engine, energy. It's, really a lot of willpower, a lot of drive, a lot of push, energy, bring lots of energy. Coffee brings us energy, that's not what they mean in Buddhism when they talk about energy. And in particular, the energy that's needed to meditate. They mean balanced energy, yeah, balanced energy. We often talk about being both alert and relaxed, alert and at ease, not just alert like pedal to the metal kind of energy, drive, alert and relaxed. And so much of the practice is finding, well, what is that? How can both of those be in there together? I was a psychologist in about 50 years ago came up with something that's been useful in psychology. It's called the Likert scale. And the Likert scale is a very simple instrument, and you can all do this right now. It's a subjective measure of, in this case, it was anxiety, but we're going to take it to energy in a moment. And it's like this: on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the very, very, very lowest, some of the lowest degree of anxiety that you've ever experienced, very, very low, very, very low. And 10 being the highest, the most anxiety you've ever experienced, right? Between 1 and 10. Where are you right now? What number? Yeah. Hopefully, nobody's here at 7 or 8 or 9 right now as we sit here together. It's probably on the lower end of the scale, right? Yeah, there might be some ruminative stuff going on. It might be a 2 or it might be a 3. Maybe it's a 1. But notice how quickly the number will come to you from 1 to 10. What is it? It's not a matter of analyzing it. We kind of know, all right, this is about a subjective measure. And what he found was, he found this, applied it to test taking in particular. Test taking, big time test taking, like the SATs, that kind of thing, that we've all taken. And what he found was that the optimal level of anxiety itself for taking a test, the optimal level. Now, before I give you the number, imagine what it would be for yourself. Imagine what that would be. The optimal level of anxiety for test taking between 1 and 10. Got your guess? Okay. It's between 4 and 6. Now, often people guess, well, it's probably 1 or 2. It's probably, if I could really mellow out when I go in to take that test, that's it. He found no, 1 or 2, it's too complacent. There's not enough energy. There's relaxation there, but it's more like a whatever doesn't work with test taking. 1, 2, or 3 don't work with test taking. It's too laid back. I mean, he did a lot of research on this to come up with these numbers. This wasn't, but also 7 to 10 doesn't work for test taking. We all know that space as well, right? That's too that can lead to thought blocking, second guessing, just all kinds of, that's too much anxiety. Yeah? more people go into to trend in that direction and more 7 or 8, yeah. And then they'll go afterwards, I knew the answer to some of those things, but what? I was too anxious. I was too anxious. It's 4 to 6. It's 4 to 6. There's actually an optimal amount of energy and anxiety that we need. Even people who come in psychotherapy and they have issues with anxiety, they think that anxiety should get down to 1. No. To move through life, even, we need a certain level of energy. And it takes energy to meditate. It takes energy to meditate. But again, as you've heard us say many times before, actually, people can be in both extremes, right? And we'll ask you to check it out in meditation. But oftentimes with our energy in meditation, it can either be too much push, too much energy, or not enough, or just not enough. Whatever, I just sit down and whatever. I'm just going to let the mind go. That's not it either. The optimal amount of energy in the Buddhist sense, I would suggest, is 4 to 6. 4 to 6 is alert and relaxed. It's not too much, as Goldilocks with the 3 bears with the oatmeal. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just right. That much energy. 4 to 6 energy for meditation. When we talk about setting up the internal holding environment, it's not so much that it's just like, I'm completely relaxed. No, that's not quite it. That's a little much. That's where we get into drifty, dreamy, wandering states of mind, the 1, 2, 3s, And the 7 through 10 is when it's like, come on, with too much push. So the point is, and what I'll suggest to you, I do this all the time. Well, I used to do it all the time. Now I have a clear sense. It's not so much the number that we're talking about. It is, what does that number refer to in your state of experience? In other words, we all need to identify what is 4, what is 5, what is 6 when you're meditating. Oh, this is 4 to 6. Right. I'm here. There's some alertness, but it's not tense. And there's some ease, but it's not drifty ease. It's right there. It's right there. Yeah, it's right there. Same with public speaking, if you ask me. I've explored this a lot. I'm in 4 to 6 right now. But sometimes in public speaking early on, it was too much. Too much energy. Got to fill in every moment. Scrambling, right? That's right. But if I'm 1 to 3 with speaking to you, it's like, well, not enough. 4 to 6 is the sweet spot. 4 to 6 is the sweet spot in a lot of places in our lives. Actually, I found. Yeah. It's a good thing to check in on, and it's so concrete, it's so concrete in a way. It's like, look at that. There's actually at any point in time, you can identify where you are and that energy spectrum, and check it out for yourself. What's it like when you're in 1, 2, or 3? You'll notice. What's it like when you're in more higher than 6, both in meditation and in daily life? So identifying the sweet spot, and then the other part of it is, this is it. This is it. This is that middle path, that middle place. But it's about a 5. The other thing is, when you find yourself lower than 4 to 6, what do you need to do to raise the energy a little bit more? Bring a little bit more energy into whatever you're doing. But in this case, we'll say into your meditation practice. I'm a little too drifty there, little too drifty and dreamy. How do I bring it up just a little bit? raise the energy threshold. And when it's a little too much, how do I bring it down a little bit? Easy does it, buddy. A little bit more on the exhale. How do I bring the energy down? Right? It's as if you're regulating the energy itself, yeah, up or down. But knowing that, ultimately, but it's for your own exploration, that it's in that middle zone where meditation starts to flow, where I'm present but not holding on too tightly, where I'm present but not drifty, right there, 46. So that's the balanced energy that they're talking about in this parame and in Buddhist meditation practice, right? It's not the drive. It's not the drive, heroic. Yeah. Let's overcome the obstacles. Let's overcome. It's not quite that. It's more finding that middle zone of energy and learning how to stay in that zone. With whatever's going on, other things will come up, but staying in that 4 to 6 zone and beginning to notice, beep, beep, beep. When I go up to 7 or 8 or 9, beep, I know, oh, yep, it's high. Yep, kind of, okay. Need to, emphasize the exhale a little bit more, settle down just a little bit more, or when it's a little low, beep, 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 beep. I'm drifting down there. Oh, how do I come back up into that middle zone of 4 to 6? So I will encourage you to play with that, explore that for yourself, to begin to locate it. You have located it, you just haven't named it as such. It's like, oh, right, this is that 4 to 6 energy space. Yeah, that's where optimal meditation happens, in the 4 to 6 space. Huh? When it's higher than 4 to 6, we're thrashing around. It's chaotic in there. It's wild in there. Okay. When it's less than 4, it's kind of drifty and dreamy. Okay. Doesn't mean we're bad people. It's just not the optimal space for meditation. 4 to 6 is where we'd like to be. Yeah. So play with that, please. And let's meditate together. Okay. Yeah, so let's open up a little bit. And when you're ready, maybe lightly closing the eyes and orienting towards settling. Maybe extending the breath on both the inhale and the exhale. And so we're settling. But bearing witness to our settling, being awake as we settle, alert, alert and settled. Maybe already, if you check in, you're somewhere in that 4 to 6 range. Yeah, with your energy, check it out. Sometimes we start out and there's a lot of energy. Yeah, and I need to settle it down a bit. Sometimes we're a little tired, dragging a little bit, and we need to perk ourselves up a little bit as we settle. And you see, tweaking the energy in this way is quite separate from the content of what's going on. But as we adjust the energy and find ourselves in that zone, we're more ready to meet whatever is arising in our experience with a bit more balance, both alert to it, but also at ease in our alertness with it. You see that? And when the mind drifts away, which will happen for all of us many times, right, just for a moment before returning, check to see what the energy level is right there. Tends to dip down a little bit when we drift away. Yeah, 2 or 3. Just check it out. And if so, coming back with a little bit more energy of interest. Yeah, the willingness to return, accompanied by interest. Yeah. And I can move the energy up just a little bit. Balanced energy. In the last few minutes of the meditation, steady. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.